Hello, digital artists. Today, in this video, I am going to show you the directions for the torn paper collage digital art project. So there are 6 steps for this project. They're in the Google Drawing. They're also in the Google Slides. So what I'm going to do first is go over the steps, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to create my example artwork. So step 1 is the art history connection. In the Google Slides for this project, there are 3 artists that I'm going to introduce you to. You're going to choose maybe your favorite artist for your inspiration. So the first 2 artists are Vic Muniz and Deborah Shapiro. My personal choice for my example is Alma Thomas because she's a non-representational artist. That means her artwork is more abstract. It allows your mind to wander and then kind of come up with maybe what the image is supposed to be. Vic Muniz art and Deborah Shapiro art is a representational. So when you look at a Deborah Shapiro torn paper collage, it looks like a cup. It looks like a chicken. It looks like an animal. Vic Muniz, a lot of his artwork using torn paper is like a recreation of somebody else's painting. So one of the examples that he shows in the video is a Vincent van Gogh Starry Night that he made from ripped paper. So quickly, I'm just going to show you Alma Thomas because she's my inspiration. So there's a link to this article where she was inspired by space and the moon landing. And she creates these paintings, but the little brush strokes kind of remind me of these pieces of torn paper. So just compositionally, this is non-representational. It does not look like a chicken, a cat, doesn't look like a TV, doesn't look like an object, but these are made out of paint. But the way that she uses paint, it almost looks like little rips of paper. So this is my inspiration for my project. And she uses like kind of shapes and then fills them in with different size brush strokes. So the second step is to start planning. You want to decide if you're going to create something representational or something non-representational. Maybe you want to make a ripped paper collage that looks like an animal, like Deborah Shapiro. Or maybe you want to recreate a famous artwork using these torn paper pieces. That would be something that Vic Muniz would like. But I want to do something non-representational like Alma Thomas. So that's my choice. You want to choose representational or non-representational. That's what you want to do for step number 2. Then we're going to start to create. So we're going to use these pieces over here that I've made for you to create your composition. So you want to select them and then use Control D to duplicate it. Then say you find this shaped piece, it's a nice long, thin piece, but it's not the colors that you want. In the toolbar, you can come to Format Options. When you click Format Options, you will get a toolbar on the right side, and you can make some adjustments to that piece. You can recolor it. Say you don't like the way that it looks. Maybe you need a piece that is magenta. You can do it like that. Then maybe you want to create a diagonal line, and you might need some larger pieces. You can resize by using the inker squares. You can stretch it out, shrink it down, make it wide. And that is one of your torn paper pieces. So that's create. We're going to take a moment to create our composition. So I notice when I look at some of these Alma Thomas artworks that she uses circles and geometric shapes and then fills them in. So I think that's what I'm going to do for my collage. So I'm going to pause here and then I'm going to come back after I start to make my composition. Okay, so I've started working a little bit and I'm going to keep going. So one of the things that I noticed is that in an Alma Thomas painting, all of her her brush strokes are sort of in a direction. So sometimes they either go around or they go horizontally. So I've been playing with some of these pieces and I'm really liking this bluish one. I'm liking the shape of it. So some of the things that I've done is, as I was working, I duplicated it and then I resized it and I was able to, line them up, select them and duplicate them again. and then resize them. And as I resize them, then I can move them around in the composition to create this different effect. So I could make some of these a little different looking by just resizing them and duplicating them. So yeah, it's the same image that I'm reusing, but I'm making it look a little bit new and different by doing this. If I want to add some texture, there are some pieces here that are a little bit more crinkled. And I can try and recolor it. There we go, using that recolor option. So I'm going to keep working on my composition by duplicating these pieces, moving them around. So I'll come back in a minute or two after I think I've finished my composition, trying to make it non-representational artwork like Alma Thomas. Okay, so I'm still working on my non-representational composition using all these little torn paper pieces, and I'm getting close to finishing it up, so I'm going to just try and fill in this area a little bit quickly so that I can go through the rest of the steps with you. I'm sure that you guys will be able to make something that's more interesting than what I'm working on right now, because I'm getting a little bit lazy by just duplicating stuff and just trying to fill in the space quickly. So if you're somebody that is struggling with creating the composition quickly, if you're feeling pressed for time, my best recommendation for you is going to be duplicating and using those little duplicated parts to fill in the composition more quickly. I only have a little bit of space left. Now, there's no reason why you can't have these pieces overlapping each other. I just think for choosing Alma Thomas as my non-representational artist inspiration for this project, that her brush strokes don't usually overlap. So that's why in my artwork, I'm not having the pieces overlap. But you'll see in the examples that I have, if you're inspired by some of these other artists, you might have pieces that are overlapping. To be honest, this is really more reminding me of that mosaic project that we worked on. All these little tiny pieces fitting together. So give me just another moment. All right. So now that I feel like I'm done with my composition that's non-representational, it is time to do the finishing touches, step number 4. So step number 4 is to use the select tool, that's the pointer, to select everything. So click and drag around your box. Everything gets selected. Then you'll use arrange, group, to get everything stuck together. Then you can add a background color if you need to. So you can alternate click. You can even do it outside of the checkerboard and choose a background color. You could choose a gradient, a solid. I think this pastel yellow kind of looks cool, but if I don't like that, oops. Maybe I can take a moment to look at some of these different background choices. And I really like this yellow one the best. So this is my composition. It's done. And now I need to sign it. So if I need a little extra room, I can sign it and have my name overlap, but maybe I want to just give myself a little bit of a cushion of a space to sign it. So what I'll do is you can use Insert, Word Art. This is the way I like to do it. And then I can type in my name and the year and press Enter. Now I have my word art and I can change the font, and then I can turn the watercolor off and I can choose a color to complement my composition. Maybe I want it to be bold. I actually think maybe for this one, I don't know where I want to sign my name. Maybe we'll put it at the bottom. I made that little space down there. But maybe that's not the color I need. Oops. All right. So I have my signature in the bottom. I can play with my signature for a minute or two. Maybe I even want to create a custom gradient. So I'll create this custom gradient to try and, help my name blend. So there's my name. So that was step number 5, was using either the word art or the text tool to sign your name. And now you can write your artist statement, and make sure in your artist statement, you tell me about which artist you were inspired by. Were you inspired by the representational artist or the non-representational artist? You let me know.